Hello, everyone. American Sports 365. Here with me once again is my colleague Alex. So, uh, the Heat hosted the Hawks for the first playing game to determine who gets the 7 seed. Fortunately, the Heat lost yet another game they should have won. So now they only have one last chance to make the playoffs, and that's to beat the Bulls, who beat the Raptors in the other 8 playing game for the Eastern Conference. So, what are your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, it was an absolutely pathetic loss. It was a terrible performance against a team that were better than, a game that we really needed to win. So very disappointing. Not really totally surprising, considering we've lost too many teams we should have beaten many times throughout this season.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, if look at some of the teams that he had lost to this season, especially teams like the Pistons, Hornets, Spurs, all those teams terrible. It missed the playoffs by a lot, wasn't close. And if he had won those type of games, then they might not have been playing in the first place, would have at least secured the 6th seed. So, yeah, it's a terrible loss, yes. Are the Hawks team that we should have beat? Definitely, especially at home. But I'm still not honestly that surprised, to be honest, because anything can happen in one game, even when you're playing a team that you should clearly beat. And that's even more true with this Heat team and its terrible bench. So, the main problem for the Heat on both ends was that they got absolutely dominated in terms of the rebounding battle. Hawks grabbed 63 rebounds, the Heat only grabbed 39. So, considering that the Hawks shot below 50% from the field and below 25% from three, those rebounding numbers are definitely the biggest reason why the Heat lost the game. What thoughts on that disparity in rebounds?
Yeah, I mean, it's a little pathetic. Keeps coming up. Of course, a lot of the poor rebounding was down to Bam not really doing his job on the glass, to be honest. Just surprising and disappointing. Even in a lot of our poor performances this season, Bam still played relatively well. Of course, the Hawks do have a very good rebounding center in Clint Capella, but we shouldn't have lost the rebounding battle by this much.
Yeah, well, Bam himself didn't even grab 10 rebounds. Neither did anyone on the Heat, actually. But 9 rebounds isn't bad. It's just that Capella was allowed to grab 21.
Yeah.
So he pretty much almost won the rebound battle for the Hawks by himself.
Yeah.
So that's even more unacceptable. This is a team that we know can rebound well when they're locked in and engaged. Especially, last season particularly, we saw that he dominated other teams in the West on a regular basis, and that's one of the reasons why he finished as one of the top seeds in the Eastern Conference. Completely unacceptable. Obviously Bam's one of the team's best players, but allowing that many rebounds is not acceptable from him nor from the entire team too, because losing the rebounding battle that badly when you have a team that can rebound well, probably it comes down in some part just to effort.
Yeah.
Another problem for the Heat was that Trae Young actually had good game. He had 25 points on 8 of 18 shooting, so pretty efficient. Also had 7 assists. The Heat pretty much shut down Trae Young in the 2022 playoffs. So that's one of the reasons why the series only went 5 games. But unfortunately, the Heat were not able to slow him down much at all in this game. What are your thoughts on Trae Young's performance?
Yeah, he gave a good performance. Perhaps I should say we allowed him to give a good performance. Some more defensive effort regarding Trae Young would certainly have limited how effective he was. But instead, he was allowed to have a good game, and obviously it was a big factor in the Hawks winning the game.
Yeah, I think it's part of its effort. I think part of it also is just personnel, because you look at specifically the guards for the Heat. Hero's got a bit on defense, but he's certainly not an elite defender. And Gabe Vincent is a decent defender, but again, it's not some lockdown defender either. And at this point, Kyle Lowry is quite old, so obviously he's not the same defender as he used to be as well. So there's a number of things, but definitely disappointing. And definitely expected he'd do better than that defensively against Trae Young.
Yeah. So, as I said,
most of the team didn't really step up. Defensively, that was certainly true, but offensively is also true because Butler, Lowry, Harrell, and Bam were the only Heat players to score at least 10 points in this game. And Oladipo, Kevin Love, Cody Zeller, and Caleb Martin only scored a combined 4 points.
Yeah, that's not acceptable.
No, of course not. Bench scoring has been a problem for the Heat all season, and it's cost them games they should have won, sometimes against bad teams. So it's really annoying to see that problem come up again, and even more annoying that he didn't address that, at least at the trade deadline.
Yeah.
So what do you think of the Heat's bench not really doing much of anything in this game?
Yeah, it was disappointing. Again, it's not disappointing, man. It's surprising, as you said, bench scoring has been a problem for the Heat for a long time. We could have addressed it. We needed to address it. We didn't really address it by the trade deadline, and it came back to bite us in this game.
Yeah, sure did. And same problems come back to bite the Heat and make them lose games that they should win throughout the whole season. So it's really frustrating to see that the front office didn't address that problem mid-season. So the situation for the Heat is pretty simple now. The Heat will host the Chicago Bulls in the final Eastern Conference play-in game. So the Heat have to win that or they miss the playoffs. The Bulls are a team that the Heat should beat, especially at home, but so are the Hawks, and the Heat already lost to them. So I don't know. I don't really have that much faith. We should win that game, but I don't know if we actually will. Fortunately, that's the situation. So you have one game to win. If they don't, then they won't be in the playoffs at all.